going, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for making me your stop on your YouTube browsing day. We do have something very cool, very interesting. We've done OZ wheels once before on the channel. Not something that you can find on the stores in the US, unfortunately. But if you are down in Australia, you could certainly pick these up at pretty much, I would think, most retailers. OZ wheels, 1/64 scale, Australian exclusive cars, we'll put it that way. This is the newer line, the fully sick detail is what they call these. Diecast metal body, diecast base, rubber tires, full interior, all that good stuff like that. Whole 9 yards, comes in a really nice blister. You get a nice protective pack with it, which is really, really nice. This particular model is called Handful. That is the name of it. So this one is called Handful. 73 Monaro GTS. It's a HQ Monaro GTS. 1973 is what the model is. So we'll get this out of the clamshell blister. There you go. So highly unlikely this would hold a Hot Wheels car. These are more than likely proprietary sized cards. But there is the card art on the back. It's a little bit less glare to it. Nothing particularly fancy on the back. Just all the advertisements, the legal mumbo jumbo. Holden officially licensed product. There is a barcode should you want to try to track that down if you want to try to get one of those. But this one looks pretty fancy, and yes, of course, we're cracking these open. Of course we are. So we'll go ahead and get this one cracked out. Get this guy slid out of there. The street scene in Australia is significantly different than the US. It's much more horsepower, drag racing, that kind of stuff. It's more of a flex. These days in the US, it's more of like money. It's kind of a money thing. Details on the side look fantastic. Not a huge fan of chrome wheels, but I just don't like chrome. That's my own personal opinion. But I do like the engine sticking out of the top. Looks pretty good. Couple air cleaners on the top. Full interior, of course, it is right-hand drive. No roll cage or nothing like that in there. Details on the back does say Handful on the plates. Taillights is done up. You can see, when you look at this, it definitely makes you think Chevelle. Obviously, Holden is a division of GM, but the cars are not exactly the same. They don't share any body panels or anything like that. So it says Handful on the front, GTS in the grille. Digging that. Details on the side. Of course, it's got big fatties in the back and some skinnier ones in the front. This is more of a resto show car, so to speak. So a little bit of bits in there to help put the power down, but really it's more of a show. There's a little bit of black print right there on the quarter panel. It does say GTS on there as well. Rolls just perfectly fine. All that good stuff like that. It's not quite as heavy as I expected it to be for a fully diecast model. But that's perfectly fine. It's significantly lighter than, say, a Hot Wheels of similar stature. So, and then of course, if you want to give it a wheelie, it does have the ability to pop a wheelie, which is pretty nice. So actually, we're going to put this guy right there. All right, second one up in that series, number 2 of 3. This one decoed up with Castrol. This one also says Handful on the back, but this one's got Castrol deco all over it. So there's a little bit of details about the bits and pieces of the car, history or information, that kind of stuff like that. So we'll get this one out of the clamshell as well. A little bit disappointed the clamshell doesn't have any logos or nothing on it, which I guess is fine if you want to use it for something else. But if you're going to make a clamshell sold with the car, you should at least put your logo on it. I mean, Hot Wheels is all about that. So there is the card art for this one. Again, Handful again. It's the exact same card. This particular one, just a different deco for number 2. I will tell you that I am a little bit impartial to Castrol. I think Castrol is a super cool deco. This one looks kind of weird because you would expect it to be more race car style with a Castrol deco on there. But you can tell it's clearly just Castrol, which just makes it kind of interesting. Normally you'd see like a bunch of other sponsors on there or something to that effect. But again, exactly the same car, but I think it looks good. It's unfortunately the exact same engine details as well, so there's no additional engine details as far as these two models go. Details like that, wheels the same, all that good stuff like that. But it's nice. It's nice. There are some ghost stripes in there, so it's very, very faint. You can see it on the trunk. There's 2 darker green kind of ghost stripes. They're also on the hood. So that's super, super cool. That's something that you wouldn't see unless you really paid attention to it. But it does match the stripes that was on the purple one with nothing on the top. And then it does have a spot where, of course, the sunroof is, although the sunroof is not, of course, openable or posable or anything like that. So we'll put that guy right there. Looks pretty good. All right, the last one in that mix, number 3 of 3. This one right here, decoed up with OZ wheels, splattered all over it. Still the same handful, which, you know, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of interesting special edition things that get released in Australia, and it tends to be a lot of like recolored stuff. Majorette's pretty common with it too, so maybe that's just kind of where the market is down there. I'm not really sure. This one is in a little bit more kind of camo-ish kind of look to it. But of course, again, it's got the exact same details, same wheels, same engine details, all that good stuff like that. Get this out of here. Obviously, the bumper is a separate piece, which is always a good detail. This one says rare spares on there, which is, I think, some type of licensed business of some sort. It says handful on the top. You can see that in the kind of camo. So it does say handful on there, that's actually kind of cool, kind of like that. The purple is gloss, and then you do see that the black is matte, which makes a really, really nice look when you see the glare go across it. I actually really like that. It's actually looked really, really good. The details on the side, again, lots of chrome OZ wheels on there. Looks okay. It's okay. A little bit of details in there. You got kicker in there. So this must be, I would assume this is probably the actual handful color deco, maybe minus the OZ wheels potentially, but this one also has a little bit of Castrol on there, so kind of a lot of little hidden Easter egg ads in there, but it's pretty cool. I actually like this one. I think this one's the best of the 3, to be honest with you, so we'll throw that guy up there. Now I do have some more here. I do have a couple more here. This particular one is also a special edition, but this one is a 1 of 1. So this is just a simple release by itself. Evil LJ. Now, one of the big things about Australian culture is burnouts are prime. Burnouts are a big, big, big deal in Australian car culture. And you'll see a lot of times where they'll take real short base cars, they'll be tubbed out, chopped up, and just massive motors on them, and they just burn these wheels to the ground. And it's actually kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. It's significantly different than what we get here in the U.S. Some of these burnouts and stuff are just absolutely ridiculous, absolutely off the chain. And this is definitely going to be one of those cars. You can tell short wheelbase on this one. Of course, it is a Holden. This one is an E85 fed, 430 cubic inch, LS inspired, 871 blower on there. So I don't know exactly what kind of car it is. It's maybe an older GTS, maybe. So it doesn't specifically state, but it does say GTS on there. So it is some type of Holden in there. It doesn't specifically say. Now, when we're talking the U.S., I could pretty much look at any car on the road and tell you exactly what it is. But Australia, I don't live there, so I don't know Australian cars. I just don't know. I mean, I just don't. This one's actually really tiny to hold in hand. It actually gives you that feel of exactly what it is. I mean, you can see how little the wheelbase is. It's got exhaust tips out the back. Those are not wheelie bars or nothing. A couple exhaust tips. Evil LJ on the plate. The prints on the back look absolutely perfection. I mean, those prints are just absolutely flawless. Just perfect. The paint finish is just ridiculous. The quality on these models is unreal. Look at the paint. Look at the paint. That almost looks like they buffered it after they painted it. Almost looks like a real car paint. That's just unreal. Like, we talk about Cartoon having great paint quality. This is just a whole nother level of paint quality. Details in the front. It says Evil LJ again. It does say GTS right there in the grill. Obviously, it's a Holden. I don't think it states on the bottom what it is. It does not. Of course, it's made in China. I do like the fact that they have a blue matched base. The front end sits up a little bit higher. That is intentional. So I know that looks a little bit weird, but that's intentional. And then, of course, it does have blue in there for the butterflies, which is pretty cool. The hood does not open, although the hood is going to be a separate piece, so that way they can either change engines or they could put a hood on there without an engine sticking out the top, which they might do. These kind of bigger chrome wheels are also pretty popular. I am not a fan. I don't like the way that those look with the super low profile tires. So it's pretty easy for them to blow those tires up when they're doing crazy burnouts. And then a little bit of pinstriping on the side. So this is a pretty nice one. That one's actually pretty nice. I'm not a huge fan of the reverse rake that it has. I'm not a huge fan of that. But it's specific to Australian car culture, so I'm not going to argue with it. That's just personal taste. And you know, we're talking two different countries. Now I have one more model here, which is only a partial item, but this one's really, really cool. This one's really, really cool. How often do you see a Ute? Now Matchbox makes a Ute. Granted, it's very nice. Matchbox does a great job. But this is just not just any Ute. This is a custom Ute. This is a $20 Australian dollar item. So it's like $13 US. That's pretty expensive for a single car. That's pretty expensive. But the level of detail on this is going to be a little bit closer to maybe like a tarmac. So like $13 is pretty much on point as far as like details and stuff like that. This is your Holden VF HSV Maloo. Yes, because I don't think they called them Utes anymore. I think they call them Maloos. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt. Maybe. 2016 is the year for this one. 6.2 liter supercharged V8 engine. So ozwheels.au. This one is part of a 6-car set. This is just one. We're going to get our Ute out of here. So this is going to be the lower tier. So this is the lower tier that has, of course, a plastic base. This might be one of the older releases as well. That's a potential possibility. I would assume that these ones are probably around that $20 or so price point. But, oh, look at that. The back comes off. Oh, very, very cool. Check that out. Ka-ching. So there is the bed. Looking pretty cool. Looking pretty average. But the bed cover does come off, which I was hoping that it did come off, but I didn't think it would. Details in the back, you do see some exhaust tips on there. Prints look pretty good. The taillights are actually lensed, which is really, really nice. Nice to see those are a separate piece. The prints look very, very good, very crisp. Very, very, very nice. Details on the side does have, of course, the bigger wheels in the back. It's kind of lowered, tubbed out a little bit here and there. Those are intentional little cuts there in the side skirts. It has a little bit of a bigger cab in there. You can see it's got that little extra window on there. Definitely an interesting looking model, no doubt. Details in the front, there you go. Lens headlights on this one as well. Prints here and there. The prints on the hood, those are like vent prints, but you can see that they're flat. They are not molded into the hood. There's no opening parts or anything. And of course, right-hand drive, because of course, that's pretty cool though. A little bit skinnier wheels on the front. I think it looks good. This didn't look as good in the package, but out of the package, this looks actually quite nice, to be honest with you. And I'm really happy that cover comes off the back. It looks better with the cover on rather than the cover off. But I will tell you, the cover fits on there just flawlessly perfect. I mean, it just really, really flush fit. Looks great. And of course, it's silver. You guys know I love silver. I'm super biased towards silver. So we'll throw our HSV Maloo up there. Anyways, there we go. That is a nice selection of some good old Australian, down under V8 muscle cars. Not as great as V8 supercars. That's probably my favorite racing series of all time. And Jackson has hooked me up with some of those. I've had some of those on the channel here and there. But V8 supercars are impossible to find in the U.S. And, kind of haven't really had any sent to me by Jackson because I haven't asked. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about those. Let me know what you think about this fully sick detail. And let me know what you guys think about these. I'm going to continue to try to get some of these from my buddy and bring them up from Australia and bring them to you right here in the U.S. So drop a comment. We'll catch you next time on LMD. Peace.